Hi everyone, good day. Welcome to another video lecture for our subject ES 211 Computer Aided Drawing. So for lesson 2, we have coordinate systems and angles. So what is a Cartesian coordinate system? So when we say a Cartesian coordinate system, it has three axes, namely the x, y, and z. So when you enter the coordinate values, you indicate a point's distance and its direction, either positive or negative, along the said axis. Then relative to the coordinate system origin, which is 0, 0, 0. In 2D, you specify points on xy plane, also called the work plane. So to visualize, let's have here, let's say we have a 20 meters line along the x and 20 meters line along the y-axis, no? So, muna siya itong 2D, x and y-axis lang. Pero kung ato na siya i-3D, mahimo na siya o na siya z-axis na ang mahitabo ana sa iya ha. AutoCAD uses this keyboard coordinate entry format such as absolute certain coordinates in the form of x and y, for example 7, 4, then relative xy coordinates in the form of at xy, and defines a new point that is x units horizontally and y units vertically away from the current point. Then what is a polar coordinate system? A polar coordinate system uses a distance and angle to locate a point. Which both Cartesian and polar coordinates, you can enter absolute coordinates based on the origin, 0, 0, or relative coordinates based on the last point specified. Then we have here coordinates. Coordinates act as subcommands in AutoCAD. So meaning you need another command to activate them, then for them to be meaningful. So as an example, you could start a command such as line and practice typing coordinates by pressing enter to place a vertex. Then for our coordinates entry, we have here the absolute coordinate system. Absolute coordinate entry is the default. Absolute coordinate entry always counts from the origin, and when drawing lines, AutoCAD is ready to place the next vertex wherever you tell it to go. So if you try to plot this line, no, we have 4, 6 as the reference point, first reference point of our line, and 5, 3. We can see nga, nag-base ra siya diri sa atong x and y nga origin. So it's sa atong first point, 4 units sa atong x-axis, dayon 6 units sa atong y-axis. Then for next, we have 5 units sa atuang x-axis and 3 units padulong sa atuang y-axis. So, moya reference point ang atuang origin. Then next, we have the polar coordinate system. Polar coordinates are named for their pole. So, the reference point to start counting from which is similar in concept to the origin. Polar coordinates employ one radial distance and one angle. So, ganina, sa atuang absolute coordinate system, ang reference point sa atuang line is nag-base sa atuang origin, x and y origin. Now, this time, ang atong reference point is nagpadayon gikan sa first point. So, from 4, 6 nga coordinates, gisaka din ta og 5 units sa atong x-axis, dayon 3 units sa atuang y-axis. So, inani dahil na forma sa atong relative polar coordinate system. But lastly, we still have another type of entry, no? That is called the direct entry. So, muna siya ang pinakagamit nako kung mag-drawing ko sa AutoCAD. So, we have here, for example, naatay line. Click lang ta sa atong first point. Naatay 10 meters from the first point. Dayon, next na to nga line is 4 meters with an angle of 45. Then, since relative man siya sa second point or last point sa itong first line, mag-start ko sa at 4 angle 45. So, nana itong second line. So, try din nato siya o connect na po to another line. So, mag-add na po sa at try na to ang 7. So, ako entry diri is x and y coordinate lang, no? So, 7, 8. So, my third line should look like this. Then, another line na po, mag-input ko at 4, let's say at 9, 3. So, inani. So, inani mahitabo siya, magsumpay-sumpay siya. Then, mas dali siya para sa ako kay di na ko mag-calculate sa ako ang distances from the reference point, supposedly, which is the x and y axis, which is your start point, supposedly. So, next here we have line with angles. The concept of polar coordinates in AutoCAD obeys the principle of trigonometric circle, thus creating the need to revise that part of math for a minute. So when we say trigonometric circle, the trigonometric circle goes from 0 degrees to 360 degrees. One lap of the circle is 360 degrees, and 360 degrees is equivalent to 0 degrees on the circle. So to visualize, no, inani ang forma sa atong trigonometric circle. So, ang atong positive nga angle mag-start from the positive x-axis counterclockwise. Then, ang atong negative angle mag-start also from our positive x-axis but clockwise. So, inana lang siya, no? So, for example, number 1, draw a line with 150 units with an angle of 30 degrees. So, we have activate na to ang line command, line, enter, press, or click anywhere at your workspace. So, input ka og 150 angle 30. So, our line should look like this. (150 meters), then 30-degree angle from the positive x-axis. So, this is for example number 1. And for example number 2, nasa sa other side na po, no? So, yung reference point is ang negative x-axis. So, atong itangan og reference point rin, no? So, let's say nga mo ni ato ang positive x-axis. So, ang ato ang input nga angle is kani nga angle. So, we all know nga 180 degrees man ang atong straight angle. So, it's just simply 180 minus 30 degrees. So, ato ang angle nga input is 150 degrees. So, input ta L, click sa workspace, then 150 units sa ato ang line. Next, ang iyada yung angle. Angle, L, 150, angle, 150. So, our line should look like this. So, 30 degrees dyan po na siya, no? Gikan sa negative x-axis. Then, let's say nga mo niya ato ang reference point, which is the positive x-axis. So, mamaya itong input na angle 150. So, our line should look like this. Kani siya, no? Then, for example, number 3, ang ato ang 30 degrees kay nag-base na po sa atong negative x-axis, tapos na siya sa ubos. So, ang ato ang reference point, atong reference angle, kay diri from the positive x-axis, plus kani, which is 180 straight angle, plus 30. So, 180 plus 30 degrees, simply 210. So, input na po sa line, enter, click, then 150 angle 210. So, mali siya, no? So, our line should look like this. Wala ni red, kaya para atong reference point. So, -30. So, our line should look like this, no? Na diri sa ato ang negative x-axis. Then, lastly, for example, number 4, na din siya nag-base sa atong positive x-axis, pero sa ubos. So, pwede ra nga atong input ani is -30 na dito, no? Kay counterclockwise, clockwise, negative, so pwede ra. So, like this, L, 150, angle, -30. So, and, reference point na yun. So, nara, no? Muna, ato ang example number 4. Our line should look like this. Either way, pwede rin nyo gamiton ang positive or negative angles, no? Basta ka inyong reference point is always na yun sa atuang positive x-axis. So, we have here. So, that's for our coordinate systems and line with angles with AutoCAD application, no? But, how about sa atuang mobile app, which is the CAD Pass View? So, ang akong na-observeran sa CAD Pass View is more on direct entry siya, no? So, try na to siya og demonstrate gamit ang application. So, let's try the examples, no? There is ato ang CAD Pass View. So, mag-input kog line. Specify first point, click ko. Then, diri makita na to sa lower left portion na ay length or angle. Length and angle rather. So, input na to tong 150. Then, ang angle is 30 degrees. So, ato i-zoom in. So, muna siya ato example number 1, no? So, input outro para sa atong example number 2. Atong example number 2, yung atong angle is 150 man, no? So, click ta, first point sa atong line. Then, input ta sa unit, 150 unit. Then, ang angle is 150. So, our second example should look like this. Same sa atong nakuha ganun sa atong CAD application. So, for example, number 3, ang atong angle ato is 210. So, input ta again. This is our first point. Input 150 units. Angle 210. So, sample number 3, same ra gyapon sa atong nakuha sa ato ang AutoCAD. Then for example number 4, atong -30 atong angle. So, input ta sa atong first point sa atong line. Then, input ta sa units, 150. Then, angle is -30. So, our line should look like this. Same sa ato ang AutoCAD nga example ganina, no? So, sa pag-entry of lines diri sa ato ang CAD Pass View, no? Pwede tang mag-input og X and Y values, which are coordinates, o pwede pud ta katong line with angle, which are polar coordinates. So, either way, kung asa mas dali para sa inyo, kamo na lay adjust. So that should be all for our lesson 2. Hopefully you've learned something, and please do practice on how to input those coordinates and lines, no, para sa inyong incoming activity. Thank you. See you sa atong next video lecture.